So, Domino stock for retirement. Interesting. We got this Motley Fool article here from December 13th, 2024. And your notes say, stable growth and dividends are what you're after long term. Let's see if Domino's can actually deliver.
Well, the article starts by saying Domino's has had some ups and downs lately. Obviously, their pandemic sales were amazing, but things have cooled down a bit since then.
Yeah, makes sense. Explosive growth isn't really what you'd want in a retirement stock anyway, is it?
Exactly. This is about consistent profitability, and Domino's has got that for sure. They've made at least $125 million profit every quarter for the past year, and their net profit margin is over 12%. That's compared to the industry average of like 8%. So Domino's has a bigger safety net if the economy takes a hit.
Okay, so even with some sales going up and down, their profits are looking good. Now let's talk dividends. The article says 1.3% yield, which, to be honest, seems kind of... I mean, that's basically the same as the S&P 500 average, right?
Yeah, at first glance, 1.3% doesn't sound that impressive. But the real story is the growth. Over the last 10 years, Domino's has increased its dividend payout by over 500%.
Wait, 500%?
Really? Yeah. And that consistent growth is exactly what we want for long-term investments, especially for retirement. It helps you stay ahead of inflation and gives you a steadily increasing cash flow.
Yeah, that makes sense. But can they keep increasing those dividends if their business slows down? I mean, 500% seems hard to top.
It's a good question. The article says that Domino's payout ratio, that's the percentage of their profit they use to pay dividends, is under 40%. That means they have a lot of room to keep those dividends growing even if sales don't go through the roof.
So we've got consistent profits and a history of huge dividend growth. That's a good start.
Definitely. But before we decide to just go all in on pizza for retirement, I think there are a few other things we should think about.
Now, the article also mentions that even Warren Buffett bought some Domino's stock.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if the Oracle of Omaha thinks it's a good idea, shouldn't we at least think about it?
It definitely gets your attention, but we shouldn't focus too much on any one investor. Even someone as famous as Buffett.
Yeah, true. But it does make you wonder what he sees that maybe we're missing.
Yeah.
I mean, the article focuses a lot on, like, financial stuff. But what about Domino's future?
That's a really good point. The article talks about how long pizza's been around, but it doesn't really say what the future holds for Domino's, and that's something we should definitely think about since this is a long-term investment, right?
For sure. I'm not just betting on people loving pizza forever. What's Domino's doing to keep up?
Well, they're not just sitting around. They're investing a lot in innovation, like new ways to deliver pizzas, new things on the menu, and even new technology to make the whole customer experience better.
Okay, I'm interested. Give me some specifics. Are we going to be getting our pizzas delivered by drones soon?
Well, drone delivery is definitely something a lot of companies are looking into, including Domino's. But they're also looking at self-driving cars that could really change how efficient and cheap delivery is, especially with how expensive it is to hire people these days.
Yeah, that makes sense. Self-driving cars for deliveries would be a big deal. But what about the menu itself? Is Domino's doing anything besides like the classic pepperoni and cheese to get new customers?
Definitely. They've been adding more things to their menu to keep up with what people like fancy pizzas with really good ingredients, gluten-free crusts, and even vegan toppings.
So they're not just keeping up with trends, they're trying to start them. I like that. But you also mentioned technology beyond just delivery. What else are they doing there?
This is where things get really cool. Domino's is using technology to make ordering pizza even easier. You can order online and customize your pizza. They have loyalty programs that reward you for ordering from them again. And they even have AI voice ordering systems for when you don't even want to type. They're trying to make it as easy as possible to get your pizza fix.
Wow, so they're not just a pizza company anymore. They're a tech company that happens to make pizza. That's pretty interesting.
Exactly. And that kind of thinking ahead could give them a real advantage over their competitors in the future.
So we've got solid financials, good dividend growth, a love of innovation, and now this whole tech thing. Is it safe to say Domino's is looking like a good option for a retirement portfolio?
I think so. But we can't forget that no investment is completely safe. The restaurant business is really competitive, and what people like to eat can change fast. We need to think about the challenges Domino's might face in the future, too.
You're right. We can't just assume everyone will always love pizza. What are some of the problems Domino's might have to deal with?
Well, they need to stay ahead of the curve with technology. If they don't keep up with online ordering and convenient delivery, people might start ordering from somewhere else. Think about all those food delivery apps out there. They're real competition.
That's a good point. Keeping up with technology is really important these days.
For sure. Another challenge is keeping costs down. The prices of food, labor, and even gas can change a lot. And that can hurt Domino's profits if they're not careful.
Yeah, it's a tough balance for any business. Keeping prices low for customers, but still making enough money to stay in business.
Exactly. And then there's always pressure from other pizza places. New chains are popping up all the time. And the big fast food companies are always trying to sell more pizza too.
So Domino's can't just relax. They have to keep innovating to stay ahead.
Exactly. The good news is they seem to know about these challenges and they're trying to do something about them.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot. We've looked at Domino's financials, their dividend growth, their innovation, and even some potential problems.
We have. What stands out to you the most so far?
Honestly, I'm really impressed with how Domino's is using technology. They're not just using it for delivery, but to change the whole experience for customers. That, plus their good financial track record, makes them a pretty interesting choice for a retirement portfolio. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. They're a classic company with a really modern way of thinking. That's a good combination. But as with any investment, you should always do your own research and think about your own financial goals and how much risk you're comfortable with.
Definitely. But before you go out and buy a bunch of Domino's stock, I think there's one more question we should leave our listeners with. Okay, so the article talks a lot about Domino's, the company, and all their financials. But what about Domino's as like a cultural thing? Could that be important for their success in the long run?
That's a great point. Domino's is a big part of our culture. Think about it. Friday night pizza parties, late night study sessions fueled by pizza. Even those cardboard boxes stacked in the recycling bin. Domino's is like the definition of pizza delivery.
Yeah, totally. They've stayed popular for so long, they've adapted to all the new trends and maybe even created some of them.
What's interesting is how that cultural impact could help them grow even more in the future. Could they use nostalgia like a retro ad campaign?
Yeah.
Or maybe team up with other brands to get even more people buying their pizza?
Those are good ideas. They could also focus on sustainability, like become known for not just good pizza, but also like using good ingredients and being environmentally friendly.
Definitely. It's a good reminder that a company's value isn't always just about the money. Sometimes things like how well known the brand is, how it fits into our culture, and how loyal their customers are, those things can be just as important or even more important.
It's like we're looking at this from a whole new angle. It's not just about pizza, it's about Domino's place in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that connection with people, that emotional connection, that can really help a company grow and be successful over time.
So let's recap. We've got a company with solid profits, a growing dividend, a history of innovation, and a strong connection with its customers. Sounds like Domino's might just have what it takes to be a good addition to your retirement portfolio.
Yeah, it seems like it. But as always, the decision is yours. We've gone over the important points from this Motley Fool article, but it's super important to do your own research and think about what you want to achieve with your investments and how much risk you're okay with.
Absolutely. But hey, even if you don't end up investing in Domino's,
Yeah.
at least we got everyone thinking about pizza now.
That's the best part of a good deep dive. Learning new things and maybe even getting hungry along the way.